Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Early Edge. Thanks for already being in the chat and already participating. We got a great Wednesday lined up for you, but let's see how we did on Tuesday. Here's the recap screen. We go 4-3. It's a winning day. I mean, you got to account for juice, but oh, by the way, Mackenzie Brooks, Raptors money line plus 125. So it is, in fact, maybe a slightly winning day. Yeah, it is. 4-3 with a plus 125. We'll take that. But we obviously want to do a little bit better than this, and we're going to do it with our Wednesday crew. We've got heavy hitters, folks. We've got Martin Green for soccer, a couple of games today, one that starts in a few hours. We got Propstarz for the NBA. We got Larry Hartstein, and I'm going to drop some golf picks. Yeah, I know golf season's kind of over. We got like a month respite from golf, but we've got the Hero World Challenge. Not a ton of betting opportunities there, but enough for me to put some on today's show. So we got a mixed bag. Larry, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Sia, and it's great that you came to me first because I wanted to jump in about the SportsLine Discord, and this man below me, Propstarz, did the first live chat yesterday, and he's going to do it again, 3:30 p.m. Eastern in the SportsLine Discord. He will answer any questions about his personal life, his professional life, his gambling life, but more specifically, NBA props, which is what most people want to bounce off of.
I don't know. All the other subject matter sounded very compelling too. Proppy, your response?
It was a great time. I had some really interesting questions. Great turnout. So yeah, I just hope to make it a regular thing. And if we can have a turnout like we did yesterday, I'd be very happy.
If you're not already in the Discord and you're a SportsLine member, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you don't think you have the time. I'm telling you, it will benefit you. There's some people in the chat that I think I saw something, Larry, where somebody posted his winnings since joining the Discord and being a member of SportsLine versus being a member of SportsLine pre-Discord. And there was a disparity there in a positive way, which is interesting to me. But it does go to show that being in that Discord can generate some more conversation that can up your bankroll. Larry, I'm scheduled for one of those one-on-ones, if you will, or everybody on ones, if you will. When is that? Do you know? It's
that
tomorrow.
Is tomorrow night during Packers-Lions. You will be live taking questions on live betting, DFS, prop plays for the weekend, golf, I'm assuming, and whatever else you want to talk about.
That sounds fantastic. I'm up to talk about anything. All right. Well, Martin Green, I got to ask you, we haven't heard from you yet. It looks like you got a fresh cut. You've got some fresh soccer plays for us, but how are you today?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Sia. Yeah, Arsenal are on a 3-game winning streak, which I'm happy about. Philadelphia Eagles are on an 8-game winning streak, which I'm even happier about. And I'm loving the Discord too. The soccer little subsection of it, all about soccer's getting pretty lively. There's a lot of people contributing, giving out some great picks. So really happy to see that.
Joe Neuenfeld in the chat, he says, pop culture questions will be coming my way tomorrow night, which I absolutely love. Real quick, before we get into prop, we want to get to your NBA prop. Larry, you've got an NBA prop. We got soccer that Martin needs to get into. But Martin mentioned his Philadelphia Eagles. They're also your Philadelphia Eagles. Just tell me, Proppy, are they the best, as it stands right now, considering the Lions' injuries? Are the Eagles the best team in the NFC, and are they the best team in the NFL?
Tough to say. I think they're playing great football, obviously peaking right now. They've bought into Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore's system. Things are going well. They're relatively healthy. So certainly look to be playing great football at the moment. I prefer them to be playing great football a month from now, but definitely not complaining here. So I think they're in great shape.
Larry, I'm going to ask you the same question, but I'm going to reduce it to the NFC. Knowing that Detroit does have some injuries and they're not necessarily getting all these guys back, is Philly, if you had to make a play on an NFC champ, would it be Philly or would it be Detroit or the field?
Wow, you're really stumping me right now, and I'm going to get into it a little bit more in my pick for Thursday Night Football coming up later on.
Oh, well, there you go. That's what I like to hear. A perfect tease. All right, let's finally get into some picks. In fact, Alex Selznick, Propstarz, you're going to the NBA. It's some of your bread and butter. What's the play tonight?
I am, Sia. I'm not afraid to go right back to the proverbial well either. I'm going to fade Tyrese Maxey, same exact category as we unsuccessfully did last night. Under 9.5 combined rebounds and assists for Maxey. Again, this number is significantly closer to his ceiling than his floor. Ended up with approximately 7 assists, 3 rebounds to go just over this number against the Charlotte Hornets, who are a significantly worse defense. So a lot more susceptible when it comes to delivering assists. And play at a faster pace than tonight's opponent in the Orlando Magic. Not only is this the second half of a back-to-back game The Magic rank top 3 in defensive efficiency. They surrender the second fewest assists in the NBA on a per-game basis, just 22.9 per game. So that combination of playing at a slower pace, excellent defensively, it's just hard to rack up a lot of assists here. Same thought applies here with Maxey. This number is just a lot closer to his ceiling than his floor. He's averaging approximately 7.7 combined rebounds and assists here. So I just think this is a great spot to continue fading him at a great number with an even more difficult matchup here. So going right back to the well, I'm undeterred by yesterday's loss.
All right, undeterred. We're going to go with Tyrese Maxey under 9.5 rebounds and assists. And if you have questions for Propstarz, put them in the chat and we'll try to get to them before the end of this show. We got a couple of SportsLine picks too. We're going to college basketball. This one's courtesy of one of our favorites, one of the best, Tom Casale, Baylor at UConn. This is 6:30 tonight. We're taking UConn money line. Quite the interesting slide with UConn. A good bounce back spot potentially here. UConn money line -122 versus Baylor. That's 6:30 tonight. And then we've got another pick, Florida -16.5. This one's from Bruce Marshall. Virginia plays at Florida at 7:15, and we're laying the points against UVA. Florida -16.5. If you want to take Bruce's pick or Tom's pick or the pick you just heard from Propstarz or the picks you're about to hear from everybody else, go to BetMGM. New BetMGM customers can sign up today and get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10, and you'll receive up to $1,500 instantly if your bet loses with bonus code EDGE. That's bonus code EDGE, EDGE. All right, Martin, you've been silent all too long. We're going to get to your picks right after this message from our partners. Loving what I'm seeing from the chat. Always come in here and hit the like button if you could. But honestly, more importantly, just participate in the chat. If you're watching us on Twitter, that's great. Thank you. Hit the like button there. We always like that, the Twitter likes and the Twitter retweets and quote tweets. But come on over to YouTube, SportsLine. There's 101,000 of us, and it's growing by the 1,000 pretty much every week at this point. Come join the party, get in the chat, and participate with this Early Edge family. All right. And by the way, I was reading the chat, and it looks like, Larry, you said Casale and Berg bets have been outstanding to start the year. Love those guys. And then Mike B19 chimes in, Casale has been on fire. I mean, Casale's no stranger to being on fire, that's for sure. And this college basketball season is just getting started. But we've got soccer year-round. Martin, your turn.
Soccer never ends, Sia. And I have a moneyline parlay of the two biggest teams in London. Arsenal look back to their best after captain Martin Ødegaard returned from a 2-month injury layoff. The Gunners beat Nottingham Forest 3-0, Sporting Lisbon 5-1, and West Ham 5-2 in their last 3 games. They've really got a lot of confidence right now. Stern test of their mettle today against Manchester United, who are having a new manager bounce under Ruben Amorim. However, United have really struggled on the road this season. Arsenal should pick up a home win. I'm parlaying Arsenal with Chelsea, as you can see right there. Chelsea playing Southampton. They really should outclass them. Southampton at the bottom of the Premier League table. Terrible results. They have about 10 players missing through injury and suspension. So they're likely to suffer in this game. Got -110 on putting them both together. Looks like a great set of odds to me. I also quite like West Ham to beat Brentford at home, but didn't quite pull the trigger on it in the end. For my second pick, I am looking at the Copa del Rey, which is the Spanish Cup competition. And I have Rayo Vallecano, which is a team in the top division, La Liga. They're playing against the team called Unionistas de Salamanca, who are in the 3rd division, and they don't have a particularly high wage bill. This is a club that was only founded in 2013. They're still sort of finding their feet. It's a bit of a David versus Goliath game here. So it's quite surprising to see odds of -125 on just a straight moneyline win for Rayo Vallecano. They haven't been in good form in La Liga. They've lost 3 in a row. But this is a real step down in quality for them. It's a golden opportunity for them to pick up a morale-boosting win. They normally take this competition very seriously. They typically go quite deep into Copa del Rey. So I'm going for Rayo at -125.
All right. We've got 2 soccer picks, one of them starting relatively soon. We also have a question from Jeff Stenberg, Martin. Would you consider Forest team total over 1.5 at +300?
No, probably not. I mean, it's just so strange to me to be living in a world in which Man City are just so terrible. I'm still just so used to Manchester City winning every single game and just running rings around their opponents. It's just shocking to see that they've lost 7. Well, I think it's 7 defeats and 1 draw from their last 8 games. It feels like we've slipped into this parallel universe. I keep thinking that Man City are going to have to come good sooner or later. So. I'm probably gonna pass on that one, I'm afraid. But I would love it. I would love it if they do. I would love it if they do.
All right, fair enough. Joe Neuenfeld says, "Love Berg. Dude looks like he's in a boy band." All right, well, that prompts me to say, put your favorite boy band in the chat. I definitely want to see those responses. All right, I'm going to run through kind of rapid fire a few picks to consider for the Hero World Challenge. Listen, there's only 20 guys. It might be 19 now. I think it's 20 in the Hero World Challenge. It starts tomorrow. It's Tiger Woods' event. A lot of guys really don't take this event super seriously. It's kind of vacation. It's in a weird part of the season where a lot of golfers haven't played much golf. Nonetheless, I've got a matchup to consider. It's very juicy. I got to be honest with you. There's just not a lot of matchups when you only have 20 guys playing. So this is the one I liked. Aaron Rai. This is a round 1 matchup. I should have clarified that. Round 1 matchup. Aaron Rai minus 150 over Matthew Pavon. I'm really just fading Pavon here. He hasn't been very good the last few months, and Aaron Rai's been very, very solid. So I'm taking the minus 150. The best number here is at BetMGM. Other places have this as high as minus 170. And I'll be honest with you, if it stays at minus 170 at those other places and you don't have access to BetMGM, I would not take it at minus 170. I would stop here at minus 150. And again, this is currently being offered at BetMGM. And I want to give you a first-round leader. Again, it's a short field. Scotty Scheffler's in this field, but not a lot of other talent or extreme, like Xander Schauffele's not here. There's a lot of guys that are just missing from this tournament. I'm going to take Justin Thomas as a first-round leader. If you want to play the narrative street game, he just had a baby 2 weeks ago, like literally 2 weeks ago. Factor that in if you want, but the reality is JT's been playing pretty good golf, and I think his chances to beat Scotty on one day as opposed to 4 certainly makes sense at plus 1,200. And then finally, I don't want to deal with Scotty Scheffler, so I'm taking the winner without Scotty Scheffler market. I'm going with Sahith Theegala at plus 1,600. Again, winner without Scotty Scheffler plus 1,600. It's plus 1,400 in some markets. That's fine too. 1,400, 1,600, Sahith Theegala. All right, those are a few picks for some golf this week. Larry, I kind of like buried the lead a little bit because, yes, you have an NBA prop, but you also have a Thursday night football side. We're going to talk a lot more about Thursday night football tomorrow on Thursday, obviously, but you're going to lead us. Start with basketball, then talk to us about Packers Lions.
Yeah, tonight I'm on Jaden Ivey to bounce back. Yeah, he was out of it last night, 3 for 10, didn't even get to double digits. I bet him over 14.5. I would play it at 15.5. It's against the Celtics. A lot of uncertainty about who will be in the lineup for the Celtics, but he put in 26 the last time he faced Boston, and his shot attempts, only 10 shot attempts last night. Normally he's at 14 or maybe even 15 to 18 shots. He only got to the line twice. Usually he's getting to the line 4 or 5 times. I just think it's a great bounce back spot for Jaden Ivey. They have to try to keep up with the Celtics. I know they're big underdogs in this spot, but I think Jaden Ivey gets his 30 minutes and he bounces back. If you look back at some of the games where he's been held in check to single digits, he usually bounces back strong and comes back strong. So I like this matchup for Jaden Ivey. And then tomorrow night in the NFL, initially, I was on the Lions. My first gut instinct was this look-ahead line has been adjusted down too much. But looking at the injury report this week, DJ Reader did not practice. Taylor Decker, the left tackle, did not practice. 2 other defensive linemen did not practice. Malcolm Rodriguez, their number 1 run stopper, who has not missed a tackle all season on running plays, he is out. So the Lions are really in trouble in the defensive front 7. They should get a couple of cornerbacks back, but in that front 7 with Josh Jacobs hammering the ball up the middle, where Josh Jacobs has been very effective, number 3 in yards after contact on runs up the middle. I think it's a spot where the Packers can hang in this game, potentially win it outright. One key thing, without Taylor Decker, we've seen that Lions offense stall in the red zone a lot. It happened on Thanksgiving. It happened when they lost Decker the game before. Well, he's going to be out. And that backup Skipper has been very shaky, giving up a lot of pressure, and the Packers can get pressure from the outside rusher. So I just think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a tight game, but I'm taking it at 3.5 because I think when that injury report, the final game status comes out today, we could see it go to 3.
Yeah, I totally agree, Larry. You, me, and Mike were on the network show on Monday. I'm with you. I was also on the Packers. I hate the idea of betting against the Lions, and I haven't bet against the Lions. I don't think I've bet against them all year. If I have, it was a long time ago. So I wasn't on that Colts train or anything like that. But it has gotten to a point where I do think the injuries are catching up to them. I love the Packers this time of year with Dobbs potentially coming back and Jordan Love. I think this offense is going to be hard to stop. Run game, pass game, all of it. Proppy, do you have anything you're already looking at for this game? I know you're usually looking at props, and I'm not asking you to give out an official play. Any agreement on the side, and are there certain players you're already kind of diving into?
I do. I like fading Tucker Kraft here, tight end of the Green Bay Packers. This Detroit Lions defense, while the run defense might be banged up, they're first in EPA. The first in EPA allowed per dropback, second in success rate. The secondary has been absolutely incredible all season. They're allowing just 30 yards to opposing tight ends on the year. That is by far the lowest mark in the NFL. Romeo Dobbs being back for the Packers really muddies things up as far as Jordan Love's targets are concerned. Tucker Kraft has just a 7% first read target rate. That is bottom 21st percentile at the starting tight end position. So that is not a good number. That is typically suggests that he is not a part of the game plan. And a lot of his production has been pretty fluky, especially if you look at the advanced metrics of certainly the tight end. Certainly the touchdown production for Kraft. So I think this is a good natural spot to fade him against the Lions. That's probably the best matchup when it comes to slowing down opposing tight ends.
Larry, go ahead.
I don't take issue with his overall point about the tight end and fading Kraft, but I do want to rebut the number one in EPA per snap, which is true for the season-long metrics. But you look at what Caleb Williams did in the fourth quarter alone, 10 of 17, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns, a passer rating of 119.5. I just think it was a case where you started to see those injuries matter. They're throwing in guys, that were basically on the street a couple of games ago and trying to just plug them in. So I think there is going to be some stress on this Lions defense on Thursday.
It's interesting because when you look at what Caleb Williams has done over the last 2 games, it's impressive, but he's been absolutely terrible when it's mattered. And when they're down to infinity, that's when he starts to pick the game up and the throws all of a sudden look good and the guys are open. I mean, I just don't know what to do with Caleb Williams and how he's been affecting these defenses over the last couple of games. But certainly coming around, Thomas Brown fixing things a little bit there. I got to say, Brad Betts, there's other people, Gipper's picks. They're throwing some stuff in the chat, some of their picks. I know Danny Brasco was in here. He's talking some UFC. Hopefully we'll see him on this show soon. I'm sure he'll be on tomorrow night. Martin Green, are you aware of any of these American boy bands? Because we're getting a lot of NSYNC, New Kids on the Block. We got a BB Mac, Lonely Island. There's a lot going on. Over on the other side of the pond, are you familiar with any of these old school boy bands?
All of those bands are very big in the UK. Yeah. NSYNC were very popular. Can't say I'm much of a boy band fan, I'm afraid. I don't even think I have a favorite boy band. Sorry to let the side down there.
Sounded like NSYNC to me. Proppy, go ahead.
I'm a massive Martin Green fan, as we all know, and Martin Green spent a significant amount of his childhood stateside. So, of course, Martin Green is familiar with plenty of boy bands, Sia. And if I had to give one, it would probably be 98 Degrees.
Oh, that's good. 98 Degrees. O-Town was mentioned in the chat as well. We're digging deep here. Larry, do you have an answer before we get to the recap screen?
I'll go with the Backstreet Boys.
All right, that's fair. John Romero, Propstarz, a question for you. And then, Martin, I'm going to go to you real quick in case there was a soccer question you think everybody needs to hear your answer to. But Propstarz, would you take Tucker Kraft under 34.5 receiving yards at -113?
I absolutely would.
All right. Martin, any questions that you need to address verbally that you haven't, that you also addressed in the chat?
There's a lot of interest in the Arsenal-Man United game, as you'd expect from 2 huge teams. Someone was asking if I like both teams to score. I do. I think Arsenal will sadly concede in that game. I think they should still win, but I like both teams to score. I also like Bukayo Saka either to score or provide an assist. I think you can get about -120 on that. A few questions about Aston Villa Brentford. I do think Aston Villa should win it. I think it should be a pretty high-scoring game as well. Celtic Aberdeen looks like quite a tough game to call because Aberdeen have been in fine form this season, but I still think Celtic should outclass them. And the other big game is Newcastle-Liverpool. I'm really hoping for a Newcastle win because Arsenal needs to catch Liverpool in the Premier League table. But my head tells me that maybe 3-1 or 2-1 to Liverpool. But yeah, keep the questions coming in. I'll keep looking in the chat and see if there's any more.
Brandon Lee says, don't forget LFO. Good call. Chris Kish says, you never said boys to men. That's a good call. New Edition was mentioned. Hanson was mentioned. Love it. Probably do you have Hanson's great. That is a boy band.
I'm changing my answer to Hanson.
I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch.
It's a great line. We'll never forget that line. Okay, I think it's probably time as I scan more O-Town answers, which is just unbelievable. Chris Kish says, love that Thigalo play, Sia, locked in. Awesome. Again, don't forget, everybody, that's obviously without Scotty Scheffler because he'll probably win this one too. Let's take a look at the recap screen. Hero World Challenge. I've got Aaron Ryan minus 150 over Matthew Pavon. I wouldn't pay it any juicier than that. So if you're looking at minus 170, I'd find another thing to play. Maybe you can ask me on Twitter about other matchups and I'll try to answer them. First round leader, I'm going with Justin Thomas at plus 1,200. Winner without Scotty, Sahith Theegala plus 1,600. Martin Green, moneyline parlay, Arsenal and Chelsea minus 110. And Rayo, here we go. Vallecano? Tell me how to pronounce that, Martin.
I always say Vallecano. I may have been saying it wrong all these years, but I think that is Rayo Vallecano.
I think I almost got there. Okay, we're doing money line there at minus 125. Propstarz, Tyrese Maxey under 9.5 rebounds and assists at minus 125. Larry Hartstein, Jaden Ivey over 14.5 points at minus 120. And the Packers tomorrow plus 3.5 at minus 115. Sportsline picks, UConn money line minus 122. That one I believe is Tom Casales and Bruce Marshall with Florida minus 16.5 at minus 110. Mbop, the new Showdown song, says Taylor DeHart. Probably not, but that's not even Hanson's best song. If Only is Hanson's best song. I bet you all need to go to YouTube and check that one out, or Spotify, wherever you get your music. The videos are great. I'm a video guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're on video right now, but we got to get out of here. On behalf of Jake the Snake on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s, Propstarz, Martin Green, Larry Hartstein. I'm the Counselor of Cash. Have a great Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to all the content the rest of the week, including all the Thursday night football content with Lions Packers. What a big game, great game that's going to be. I'm the Counselor of Cash. This is the Early Edge. We rest our case.